Okay, Funk Flex, Diddy's here.
Yes, yes.
How are you, my brother?
Blessed.
Can't Stop, Won't Stop is amazing.
Thank you.
Congratulations to you.
Thank you very much.
Love your vibe. You kept that a little under wraps.
Yeah.
Until, because I didn't know that when you were on the tour, that's what you were doing. But amazing. And it struck me to think of something. Now, Bad Boy Records. How many records has Bad Boy Records sold collectively?
We like to do it like this. Between the records that we touched, as Bad Boy, as the Hitman, as the artist.
Oh, that's a
you know what I'm saying? I mean, we have to get ours, and that's over 500 million records worldwide.
You said 500 million.
Yeah, yeah. And we talking about singles, albums, anything that's moving over the counter. You know what I'm saying? You know, we did that. So it's 500 million.
That's a lot of records, my brother. You know, so when you think of those things, because look, we know currently, I mean, between Ciroc, you're moving billion cases.
Ciroc boys, Ciroc girls out there, yeah.
I mean, they see us, they see what it is. Your own network, which is Revolt.
Yes.
The label situation is at Epic.
But you know what's so crazy?
Right?
You know what's so crazy? Not to interrupt you, the only black majority owned out of all 1,000 stations that's up there, there's only one. That's BET is owned by Viacom.
Yes, you know correct. Now it used to be black owned when.
Yeah, that was back in the day.
I forgot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bob Johnson.
Yeah, and it's no and it's no problem with him selling it. You know, he gave birth to
cashed out.
Yeah, cashed out as he should, and gave birth to Revolt. But it's just so we have all these stories, and we run this culture, and we only have one station, and I want people to understand that's Revolt. You know,
clear.
Support it. Be clear.
Look at Diddy today. Hot. It's nice to be hot.
Yeah, it's kind of
toasty. Currently, you touch so much. You know, and we went through that, and I know let me see, I met you. Well, I knew of you. I mean, of course, 88, 89, but I think I met you in 90, right? But Uptown, and I know said many a times, I know the intern thing and everything started. Is that the only place you tried to intern at first? Was Uptown Records?
No, actually, I interned at WBLS.
When?
Under Francesca Spiro.
Wow, I never knew
back
that.
in the days when they were doing those concerts when Guy was just
popping.
Yeah. My first job was to hold Teddy Riley's keyboard, and I was beyond overjoyed. It was a dream come true. I remember going to the payphone, calling my mother. Yeah, I majored myself. I'm 60, y'all, and I look this good. Okay, there was payphones. You know what I'm saying? It is like, you know, just to hold Teddy Riley's keyboard, anything, the towels, anything to get in the game and understand, you know, how to service artists backstage and, you know, just to see the inner workings of the
So
game.
you were doing this for BLS at the time?
BLS, and I was begging.
Francesca was a curvy one at the time.
Yeah, Francesca Spiro. God rest her soul.
You lying?
Yeah.
When did that happen?
Yeah, that was like 2.5.
You're kidding me, bro?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
God rest her soul.
Oh, rest in peace to her, man. Good lady.
Very good lady, and she used to work at Def Jam, so I was like, you know, hook me up with Def Jam or Andre Harrell. You know, those are the two places I would like to be. And then I got a meeting with Leo for an internship.
What year? I need a year, bro.
Man, this was like 91.
Okay, this is before Uptown.
Yes, this was before Uptown.
So before 90, you were at Uptown. So this had to be 80, 89.
True.
Right? Because you were at Uptown by 90, because 90 we was in the club together.
True, yeah. So it could be 88, 89. And so the day I walked into Leo's office, he happened to be having an argument on the phone with Run. And so I'm like,
priceless.
I'm like, if he's yelling at Run like this, like, what is he gonna be saying to me? I'm like, I'm with it, but I'm like, yo, this is.
I ain't ready for it.
You know what I'm saying? I was isolated. You know what I'm saying? Like between my mother and grandmother, I wasn't around. Like, you know, like you know, just even in general, you know, men-on-men conversations. So that level of bass in the voice, I was like, yo.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I don't know. My mom.
Were you in the hallway? Were you in his office?
I was
you
in the
could
office.
hear it.
I was in the
his office.
Yeah, I was in the office.
Does Leo remember that day? You ever brought it up to him?
I brought it up to him.
He don't remember?
Yeah, he don't remember that day. Yeah, Leo could have had me. Def Jam could have had me.
So at this time, you're living in Mount Vernon.
Yeah, I'm living in
Vernon.
I'm living in Mount Vernon.
Okay, now Francesca Spiro, rest in peace, of course. Then now you get to Leor, Cohen.
I get to
so you're
Leor.
at the Rush offices, not even Def Jam, the Rush office.
Rush downtown.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and that office was amazing, bro. There was so much action going on in there.
Yeah, it was crazy.
It was like, you felt like
hip hop.
Oh, it was amazing. From the parking lot to the walk up, there could be a fist fight out there at any minute between some rappers and some DJs. It was crazy.
And Queens was running it.
Oh yeah,
Queens, between Jam Master Jay and LL, they was running it. But it was just like they would have epicenter.
What did Leora ask you?
Anything? He asked me what I wanted to do, and I said, I want to just like kind of work for free and learn. And he was just like, he went on with his argument. He was like, I got to talk to you later. Talk to the guy in the mailroom. And you know what I'm saying? That didn't work out. But when I met Andre, it was more my style. You know what I'm saying?
Did the Def Jam office change? Did it make you more aggressive for it? Did it feed you like and make you want it more?
I see. I wasn't in the old English. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't in the old English. I was in the champagne and going to Bentleys on the weekends, and having a job, getting you know what I'm saying. So when I got to Uptown, that's what they was about. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like moettes and silks and linens.
So you know what I'm saying? You were in your zone.
Yeah, so I was in my zone over at Def Jam, and I would have had to have on some fatigues and some OE, and that just wasn't me.
Wasn't you?
So once I got a chance to be at home, when I got to Uptown, I was at home. Guy was there.
Leroy's jabbing. Jabbing.
No. That's a running joke between Def Jam, Bad Boy, and Uptown. You know,
I remember.
Like who was the flyest and who was the grimiest. Because Leo used to say, we don't want none of that shiny stuff, none of that commercial stuff. We hardcore.
I'm gonna tell you what Russell used to say. It's a joke. He used to say the colored people. He used to say the colored people over at Uptown. I remember Russ. Don't act like you ain't say that because I heard you say it. Sorry, I didn't mean to blow you up. Anyways, okay.
Shout out to Russell. Shout out to Leo. But I just wanted that opportunity. I was about to go to Howard University, and I just wanted to see if I could get a place I could come and kind of work and learn on the weekends. And I got blessed through Heavy D to get an opportunity to meet Andre.
So you met Heavy first?
I stalked Heavy D.
You stalked him?
The pizza shop he used to go to. I used to like kind of walk up and down his block just in case his car drove by and I could like, clean, nice room, like that. Yeah,
pressure.
The hustle was real. And then it just got to the point where I knocked on his door. He was like, okay, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna make the call. And he set up the meeting for me.
So that was was that Heavy D's first time meeting you, or he knew you already?
No, he met me because I was kind of like, persistent. Persistent. So he met me and he knew of me, but when I came to his house, he was like, okay, this is enough, right?
This is not gonna stop.
Yeah, this is going too far. Let me get Dre on the phone.
And then so you met Dre, the internship starts. Mm-hmm. What was the first group you worked with over there?
First group I worked with was Father MC.
Now let's describe the climate at the moment. This has to be 89-ish?
Yeah,
89-ish, right?
Yeah, it's crazy. The Fresh Fest is just ending up. You have New Edition, Bobby Brown, you have Albie Show, you have like that whole time.
Guy
you
was smoking.
Guy, Dougie Fresh. You have like all of that happening at one time,
Absolutely. So now this is the era of New Jack Swing. It's kind of in its thing.
The height of the crack era.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Willie Burger.
Willie Burger.
Hunts Point is busy.
It's crazy from my man from Peter Chew to Jesus to Poe.
Peter Chew, love baby.
To Same Gang. You know what I'm saying? Best out. It's heavy.
You know what? You brought up Poe, and I want to take this time because I don't want to say apologize, but I have a different look at Poe. I was a little harsh on him, right? Maybe a couple weeks ago, and I used the word snitch. And I saw his son, post something, and his son posted, no matter what you may say about my dad, he's a great dad to me. And I thought about it after I saw that, and then, you know, at the time, I remember when Poe got locked up, you know, it was all good. When I say all good, meaning just amongst people. And then I noticed over the years, you know, that word snitch started to be used, but it wasn't used at the time when it was happening. It's just that society had changed on how they viewed that type of movement. And I reached out to his son and I said, you know, I want to meet your dad. I want to meet him. I said, not for the radio or anything. I don't want to like talk about him on the radio, but I want to meet him. So his son is setting that up, which I appreciate. And his son makes music, and I just felt that I just loved on Father's Day what he wrote about his dad. It made me have a little different turn, so I'm excited to meet him. I just want to bring that up, didn't mean to interrupt you.
Yeah,
Diddy.
No problem, man.
Okay, so you just described the climate. Now, when we get to 90, right now we're in the 90s. So then there's, I remember you being a very, not just big party promoter, but I remember your energy and your enthusiasm, and it wasn't, I didn't see as many people who loved the clubs like you loved it, like you had that. Shout out to Jessica Rosenblum, because that's how I met you.
Yes.
And that's how I met you. And I remember
a lot of people may not know this, but I basically, between me and Jessica, was really running the nightlife in New York City.
Absolutely, 100%.
In the early 90s, you know, and this is during a time when you have to go against board. The mayor's trying to shut down hip hop clubs, and we're like really fighting for the culture of the clubs, to the point where we were able to have peace in the clubs. If there was a fight, I could get on the mic and be like, y'all know we ain't gonna have a place to go next week. The fight would stop, you know what I'm saying? Or, you know, just knowing the different crews or gangs, and just was able to have like one of the longest runs between Daddy's House and the Tunnel that really, I think, really gave birth to that whole next level of hip hop, you know what I'm saying? Because we was all in that together.
Was Daddy's House your first endeavor? I felt like you were doing parties before Daddy's House. You were doing like one-offs.
Daddy's House was it. I did a couple of one-offs with Jessica, and it would be some things with like Video Music Box, and
yes,
you know what I'm saying, just new little spots that was coming up. But like the big endeavor, when we was putting like 4,000 people in the house a night, and you was DJing, and you know, Tribe was on stage, and Busta and you know, Madonna started coming to the clubs, and every movie star, and it was just hip hop, that overall clash that, you know, Fab Five Freddy taught us how to do.
I want to explain the Red Zone to you. You know,
because you heard about the Tunnel, you got to hear about the Red Zone.
Because the Red Zone was an energy. Well, I want to give you the whole experience. The first night was being promoted. Kid Capri was there the first night. Kid Capri used to be on WBLS every day at 7 o'clock. And I heard him say, I'm going to be at Daddy's house tonight. It was Puff Daddy at the time. And he may have said Jessica. And I went down there. This is how I met Jessica. I did not know Puff yet. This is 1990 going into 91. So the experience was amazing. There was an upstairs where Diddy would spend some of his time, and the celebrities would party up there for a little while, and then everybody would come downstairs. Kid Capri was the house DJ at first. Kid Capri went on tour. Am I saying this right, Puff?
Yes.
And then Clark Kent took over with DJ Triple C.
Mm-hmm.
Triple C throws a 40-ounce bottle in the crowd. Now, Triple C was next up as a DJ. Like, he was talented. He was great. He threw the bottle in there. I said to Jessica, please talk to Puff. And I remember, Puff has not changed. I remember I would come in every time and talk to Puff. Puff would give me about 45 seconds. And if you don't keep his interest, he's on to the next. Right? But I respected that. And I think one time I said, Puff, am I in next week? You said, no, you're not in next week. You're in the week after. Don't have to ask me no more. I said, okay. Nah, but I respected it. Wait, so I'm playing in there that night, the night that I did get a chance. I don't know if you even remember, Puff. I studied it. I knew if I played some records that weren't normally played in there, I could get your attention.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm going to really mix this up. I played for about 10, 20 minutes. Puff sent me some Moet. I never had Moet before in my life, and I acted like I had it before. Then from then on, when I did play, I'm going to tell you what I learned from Puff. Puff would say, it'd be a certain record, like I could play King T, and he'd go, let's go from here. And then I knew that meant, don't bring the energy down, because I never understood what he meant with that, like what people meant by that, like, go from here. That meant, okay, we're going to go here, and the energy's never going to come down from there. We're going to go up here. Shout to Butt Naked Tim Dog. Yeah. Because he would rock the mic until about midnight, and then Puff would come down. But for people, unfortunately, there's not a lot of video. Ralph McDaniels has a lot. Mm-hmm. But watching you say, Jodeci's upstairs, and you got to see this little piece of video, and A Tribe Called Quest, and you, because you were saying that night, it was amazing to watch it now and to see how much you were at the post end of what was cracking. You know, I wasn't surprised by your success later on. You know, that club is an unspoken club that was an amazing club, very influential. 2 records broke out of there. Like, it would be, and if you was getting dropped from your label and you had something going that club, you was good. Like, you was gonna get your budget open. Like, it meant something in there, bro. It was like, did that help you cultivate Bad Boy? Because you had the shirts in there. Rest in peace to, he was making the shirts. D Ferg, which is ASAP Ferg's father. Yes. So same gang. Same gang was my crew, and we was all in there heavy. Yes. That was the thing about the Red Zone, about Daddy's house, is that it was more Harlem. You know what I'm saying? The tunnel was Brooklyn. You know what I'm saying? Brooklyn. You know, and just being from like Harlem was in there closer and deeper. And at the time, Uptown was considered Harlem and BX. Yeah. So if you said Uptown's in the house, because BX never got shouted, you got blended into Harlem. Because you didn't have, I'm from there, we didn't have enough juice, we weren't hot yet, we didn't have enough, we were getting our lights turned off a little bit, you know, that was key. So, I remember, so the Ferg had the shirts, I remember you had the Bad Boy shirts, but you didn't have the label yet, right? Was that already a concept? Yeah, I was really doing the pre-promotions for the label to get a label deal. Okay. You know? So I was just trying to get hot out in the street. So you were working at Uptown. Yes. Now, I heard a story that Notorious B.I.G., because at the time he was Notorious, or he was Biggie Smalls at first, right? And then there was another, he couldn't clear that or something, right? Yeah, because, you know, on Saturday Night Fever, Sidney Poitier and Bill Cosby have a Biggie Smalls, and so they kind of had it trademarked, and they didn't really want to get it. They didn't want to come up. Did you reach out to anyone from that camp to get it? To try? But I didn't really know anybody at that time. I was just starting out, so you know they got turned down. Yeah, we got turned down. So then it changed to Notorious B.I.G. But I remember he was still saying Biggie Smalls on the records. Yeah. We just had to make sure that, you know, on the album it said that, but you know we still ran with Biggie Smalls. Now I had heard that Biggie had gotten dropped from Uptown because there was a part in Dreams. And I think at the time it wasn't called Dreams. I think it was called 411 Remix. Mm-hmm. Maybe. I could be wrong. And he said something about Patti LaBelle. He said something about Patti LaBelle in Dreams of Fucking an R&B Bitch. And Patti LaBelle was on MCA at the time. And her camp and her management had went to the label. And that's why Biggie got dropped. Is that true? No, that's not true. Biggie didn't get dropped. I got fired. Okay. So when I got fired, you know, they didn't know how to handle something. They didn't know, that him saying anything about Patti LaBelle was never, nothing ever said. No one ever brought it up. No, we didn't. I mean, they didn't bring it up to me. You know, I guess I got fired around the same time. but no, it was too much. It could have. It was. You gotta understand, Big. It was too much for them. Nobody could have handled Big but me. There wasn't like some executive. It wasn't like Craig Cowman. I love you, Craig, but Craig couldn't handle Big. He said I'd probably go to jail for fucking Patti LaBelle, bro. I thought it was a fly line. it got crazy. I thought it got crazy after that.
Yeah. Nah, it was just, they gave me a choice.
What was the choice?
When I had left, if I want to, I could take the acts with me because they weren't invested. They didn't really hear the music like that yet. And so, it was really up to the artist. But they were like, they're not going to leave the artist out there because the artist had a binding contract also.
So Bad Boy originally was through Uptown MCA.
Yes.
That was gonna happen.
As a production deal on a real minuscule level.
Got you. And Biggie and Craig Mack was already, you had those artists.
Signed directly through Uptown, but through my production deal, which you mean that, at the end of the day, don't really mean like they signed.
You're not going to get that weight.
Yeah, you're not going to get that weight.
Okay, so then, now I don't know if you remember calling me. Like you called, and you said, hey, I'm sending Biggie, because it's the first freestyle that I ever got from Biggie and Craig Mack. And you would just call me and you said, I'm sending Biggie and Craig Mack up there. I ain't got a situation, my brother, so we gonna do what we do. I said, okay, let's do it. Then they came, they freestyled, and I remember you in that in-between area, and you were the talk of the music industry because you had half of the music industry saying you would never make it without Andre. And there was another half that said, wait till you see where he lands. And I don't know, how long did you go in between Uptown and getting a deal at Arista?
I'd probably say it was probably a month or 3 weeks because it was a bidding war really the next day. I didn't know it was going to be like that. I was, devastated, scared to death. I just had Justin. And I was living outside my means, above my means in Scarsdale, next to the golf course, and
in the VW, you had a VW drop top.
Yeah, and I had moved up to the BMW, but this in the Benz.
The VW was popping,
bro.
The
VW that was the first cabriolet. That was a statement. That was a real.
That was a Harlem Hood favorite.
That was a real chocolate pretty boy statement.
Tough.
Yeah. It was like I can't get the joint AZ got, but I got this cabriolet, baby, and I got a real job with some health insurance.
Nah, you had he had the ball. You had the baldy.
The baldy, yeah.
Top down in front of the clubs like 5 a.m.
Yeah.
Crazy. I remember, bro.
Yeah, no doubt.
Okay, so then we go from now you're waiting in between for the Arista. So in between the Arista deal and the Uptown deal, do Biggie and Craig Mack go with you? They're like, we're going with you.
Yeah. When I had just like in the movie, when I had the meeting with them in both movies, they discussed the day that I came to them because I felt bad. I was like, damn, I promised them all of this stuff. I don't even have a job or a label. I don't even know what's going to happen. You know
that turns out to be the best thing.
Oh yeah. I mean, in the movie, Andre was like, he didn't fire me to hurt me, he fired me and made me rich. And that's a true statement. I didn't really know my value or worth until I was out there, but I still felt bad because I got fired. You know what I'm saying? I didn't represent myself as somebody that had got an opportunity and was respectful of like just a chance, and was respectful of other people around. I felt like I knew it all, and I just wanted the artist to win. And it was just like, I got fired, and it was a wake-up call for me. And yes, I did get to have a chance to go and have success, but when it's almost like when you let down your sensei, you know what I'm saying, the person that puts you on, that's the most important thing, you know what I'm saying? So, it was definitely like a kind of rough and shaky experience, you know what I'm saying? But that's why, I always stayed close to Uptown. I still did the Mary album, still was doing the Jodeci stuff, and,
I want to explain the climate, the bad boy climate of this in between Uptown and Arista. So I want to explain to you a bad boy party. There was no beepers. There was no social media. I want to tell you how this used to work. Puff would say, maybe 2 or 3 days out, that he was throwing a party. I lie to you not. It's 3,000 to 4,000. 2,000 in the club, 2,000 in the street. Like, just on the word and the excitement of, I remember you with the street teams in the street. That was very exciting. Even a guy like Jay Black, every piece of Bad Boy had charisma and personality, no matter what they did. Who did you have doing mix show? Was it June Balloon and you had someone else? Super Mario. And, Super Mario was always cocky and confident, Harv, like everyone had personality in what they were doing, which I thought was amazing at the time because you had Loud Records. No, not to take anything away from them. You had Loud Records and you had Def Jam. But you always felt when you saw somebody or something or the music from Bad Boy, it represented what you were about. Was that the plan? Was that the plan, or was it just happening by accident at the time?
It wasn't happening by accident. Everything up until now is the plan. It's the plan that it was. Everything's coming to fruition. Everything is the belief. Everything is the focus on working hard. Even, you know, the dream to be able to have somebody wake up. The alarm goes on. It's one of your records. They get in the shower. They get dressed. They put on some Sean John cologne. They put on some Sean John. You know what I'm saying? They go to work. They may work at one of the companies, Revolt or Ciroc or one of the many companies, you know, and then they go out at night and they get to, you know, buy some of the spirits. They go home. They get to watch the network. You know, they go to the movies, they get to watch the movies. So it was really about, to me, I wanted to build and tap into the culture. I always saw hip hop as you know, as a culture. I saw like rap music as the music, but I saw hip hop as this evolving culture that was spreading like wildfire all over the world. Because I was using my passport. A lot of people were afraid to travel because like the ketchup and the food tastes different. You know what I'm saying? And for real, people was on like you know, cats. Like New York,
I'm one of them, bro. I'm one of them.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not going.
A couple times you told me, come on, I'm one of them, bro.
Yeah, it was just seeing the opportunity to understand the economics and what rock and roll and pop acts were getting and how they were getting treated, and knowing that this thing wasn't going to go away. And you know, I was in the beginning. You know what I'm saying? It's like being in the beginning on Facebook or Twitter or Apple. Imagine just being. That's the way you know hip hop and that energy felt.
I never saw a movement shine as bright. I've witnessed every movement, Puff, and I say to people all the time. And sometimes people want to argue me or want to fight me, and then there's a lot of people who agree too. You know, because I love Wu-Tang, and the Wu-Tang movement I had to say was before you, and it was a very hip hop. Street, Staten Island, a lot of records being sold. It was a great and an amazing movement. But it was also a movement I had kind of seen before on steroids, you know, because it was really, really hip hop records. But I had never seen the hip hop records with the gasoline on it, like the like it was infectious. It was like you see the street team or you see what was going on or see you. I remember a concert where R. Kelly was playing and you weren't on the bill and I was DJing and you just walked in to hang out. And the way people gravitated to you in that energy, I never really... I tell you what came close was 50 Cent at his height. But other than that, I have not seen that type of movement. I had loved that you had picked Craig Mack to be your first, because Craig Mack was an artist who, he was in a group and he was on Sleeping Bag and he had a great record that struggled and didn't make it. It was called the record went zoom 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 zoom. And I think Diamond, a guy named DJ Diamond used to DJ for him, but EPMD was on the same label, so they never got any shine. And I, not at the time, and you didn't know it, but when you gave me the song, and I think I might have been Harv, I don't remember, you said it was the first thing, and I didn't say it to you at the time, but you used to ask me why I went so hard on that record. And I went so hard because the fact that you reached back for someone from the 80s that didn't get their just due, I had so much respect for it, bro. And I had wished, you know, is it Alvin Toney who brought him to you? I saw an interview with Alvin Toney where he had said he wished that Craig Mack would have just listened to you and your ideas and your feel for the music. Was Craig Mack giving you a struggle in terms of how to position his album?
Nah, I mean, Me and Craig Mack never really had a problem. He never gave me a struggle. I think it was outside of music problems, issues that we all face sometimes as human beings. Sometimes people just see us for what we're doing as artists, but people also have other issues, and so I think it was some of those other issues that
Was this you and him, or just him outside of whatever he was dealing with? He's from Long Island, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
And so it wasn't nothing like that as far as between me and him. It was just what was on his plate as a man.
Okay, so now you have Craig Mack, and at the time Craig was kind of bigger than Biggie, correct? Like when you went out the gate.
Yeah, I mean, because that Flavor in Your Ear was, the first time it was really played in the club, you played it, and you played Flavor in Your Ear for an hour. It's the first time I saw it.
We was in the tunnel.
Yeah,
No, was in the tunnel. Palladium. No.
Nah, it was
Grand.
The Grand.
The Grand.
Yeah, no doubt.
I remember that, and I'll tell you what I had. It was an acetate. I feel like it was an acetate. So an acetate.
I just brought it in the club, and you just played it for like an hour.
The acetate is that heavy. I don't know. It's made of like some clay or some shit. It's nuts. What is it? It's lacquer, right? And you can't spin it back, and you can't too. And I remember the Grand that night. Puff was in rare form. But do you remember the energy? It surprised me when the record flew on, and I was like, "Oh shit! This is, like, for me, New York. I used to live for those moments to see you. A record to me comes together after you meet an artist." And he does his thing in the videos out and everything. But when that joint comes on in the club and you can see if everybody's fucking with it or not, is an amazing feeling.
I never seen nothing like it. Out of all the records I ever put out,
it was lifting the building off.
It was like something about when Flavor in Your Ear, when people first heard it, it was like food for their souls. It turned into a spiritual church
changed the
experience.
game on that.
Yeah, it really...
I'm gonna tell you all the pieces of that record. Is that Harv? Is that you on the beginning of the song talking? The talk on the front was nuts, right? But the like everything, the way it was dropping was like, it was like 1996 had, or 94. Let me get my years right. It's like 1979 and 1994 came together and had a baby, and it's Flavor in Your Ear, because the sounds and then the snare knock, and then there was some dance niggas used to do to that record too, that it wasn't even a legitimized dance, but they did it when that record came on. I don't remember seeing him perform. I don't remember seeing
him perform a lot.
Yeah, I don't remember seeing him perform that record a lot, right?
To be honest, like, he performed the record a lot, but it was both of them performing. And to be honest, Big, like Craig, Flavor in Your Ear came out, and it had its run for like really 20, 30 weeks. But then when Big came, it was just like another type of personality, and together, them having to work as a team, it was just Big's personality was a little bit more, he was
a little bigger. He was more flamboyant.
Yeah, more flamboyant.
Craig was a better freestyler live on the radio.
Yeah.
And Big used to have trouble with the curses and not cursing on the radio. But I don't remember if it was. Remember when you did Flavor in the Ear remix, right?
Yes.
And you put Biggie first. Which is the first time, not first, maybe, yeah, it was first, but it was the first time I had ever seen a remix of someone's song and they didn't go first, which was unorthodox and kind of changed the game because people started to follow the flow. Now, was Craig okay with that you had put Biggie first on the song? Was he okay with Biggie being first and him being second on the song at the time?
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest, I'm not sure, because that time Bad Boy was more of a dictatorship than a democracy. I'm just being honest. You know what I'm saying? So,
we doing it like this?
No, I'm just keeping it real. So
I lived in that video too. I'm DJing in that video.
Yeah, I don't want to just give you got it, baby. I just don't want to give you the glossy story about
keeping it buck.
Talking about Can't Stop, Won't Stop, the journey and the whole thing. I'm telling y'all the times when I was acting like an asshole, losing my mind, and not acting right, and got fired. Those ups and downs, and yes,
but you knew it needed it though.
Yeah.
You knew what the yo. You saw me. Went, yeah, nigga. Yeah, nigga. I knew what the brand needed. Okay, so then that remix, you put Buster. Let me see. Rampage was on that song. LL.
That was one of LL's
Brought him
comeback.
back. Yeah, absolutely. Wait,
and that's when I managed LL for 2 weeks.
Yo, okay, that's good. So you did manage LL.
I managed LL for 2 weeks. I did like a phenomenon. I did that whole album, the whole 9, and you know, he went Queens on me. And disappeared. You know what I'm saying? He just disappeared. Just like, I don't want you to manage me no more. I don't agree. I want to just do this.
I think I asked him once, and I think L got a little mad at me. L was gonna bring it up. I said, I think I saw L someplace, and I said, yo, L, you signed the Bad Boys. Ah, nigga, I ain't oh, sorry, L. Sorry. you know, LL, you know, I know, was that monumental for you? Even the 2 weeks. What like...
Yo, he used to come pick me up in my house. The doorbell would ring, and I would have to like peek out and be like, like still, even though it was me, I would have to be like, yo, LL's picking me up in the rolls. Like I'm bugging, because I'm like such a hip hop fan and in love with hip hop, and I'm not afraid to be fans of people and still be their, you know what I'm saying, be their friends. And I was just like, I can't believe like I'm getting this opportunity to, and he has so much knowledge. You know, just the time of just us driving around the city, the jewels that he drops, you know what I'm saying? And me and him stayed close. He got a star in Hollywood a year ago, and I presented him his star in Hollywood. Like, he asked me to present it for him, and I was like, LL is asking me to present him his star in Hollywood, you know what I'm saying? So it's so crazy.
You know, I talk to LL probably twice a month.
Yeah.
And we talk about music. We talk about music, and we talk about this. But I text him once. Because I had to. I couldn't say it to him on the phone because I didn't want to feel like such a fucking groupie. So I was like, let me text him what I want to tell him.
Yeah.
I said, bruh, you don't even understand. Hanging up the phone and saying, nah, I was on the phone with LL, you know, because of his successful track record and his way to reinvent himself. And the fact that we're all around the same ages, but LL was successful early at 16. So to watch him from afar is and was amazing. I don't know if you know, but L was on my Instagram live, and he had shared that he wrote a couple verses for a few people. He wrote the MC Lights verse on self-destruction, and he had also shared, which broke my heart, that he wrote a couple things for Run DMC, which I didn't know. So I was like, he does give up some jewels, like here and there, and that flavor in your ear was instrumental for doing it, and all the things that came afterwards was in burst, because to see LL on that record with the Young Boys, and you know, I want to say busting their ass, kind of. It really made him. And then Buster went right after, so that helped Buster a lot too. Put him on that record.
Definitely.
Buster was the closer at the time.
You know who really helped? Rampage.
Oh, you lit him up.
Shout out to Rampage.
But it was a hot verse though. It was a hot verse.
I know.
It was a like because when you first came on, you went, "This better not be whack."
Yeah.
Damn, nah, this nigga's
yeah, nah, he killed it. Everybody killed it on that remix, and it's a classic. It's crazy that the remix, you know, wound up being bigger than the record. As big as that record was, you know,
it was cooking.
And so it was the start of making remixes even go bigger and further than the record.
So at this time, so if you don't mind me asking, so you with Arista, and this is now you, Clive Davis. Did Clive Davis, is that the person you sat with to give your vision to get your Arista Bad Boy situation going?
Yes, I sat with every label head from Tommy Mottola to, you know, Clive Davis.
What was your second choice if you weren't going to go with Clive? What were you leaning towards?
See, Sony was, this was like, you know, and like in '94, like I don't even think, you know, I saw a private jet. Sony had a fleet of private jets.
I'm taking you
And so
someplace.
they was dangling the jet like in front of me, like, yo, we'll let you use the jet. We'll give you like, 30 hours a year. You know what I'm saying? And I was almost for the ball of it all. I was about to sign for the jet. I wanted the jet at 21. You know what I'm saying?
That's a different animal, bro.
But I did make them fly me around a couple of times to have some meetings just to see what it felt like.
Fuck that. Fuck that. Who was over there? Tommy Mottola at the time?
Tommy Mottola,
Nigga,
my
you
nigga.
got the bread. You had J-Lo, you banging her out. You got that money, nigga. Give me the jet, nigga. All right, so now that would have been your second choice.
Nah, I only had one choice really, and that was Clive Davis.
Clive Davis.
You know what I'm saying? Clive Davis.
If you don't mind me asking, financially, what was that like? What were the M's like?
I mean,
Are we in the 5M, 10M's? We more than that?
No, we was looking like at 16, then like
To start it off, like 16 M's?
4 and overhead, so it was like 20. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
It was the next one that really changed the game and gave us our price. And like Jay even talks about it. Jay was good enough to do the to do the movie, even though it was coming out through Apple. Like that was
Okay.
that was a real like
Respect.
friendship call. You know what I'm saying? Because
he has Tidal
you know what I'm
happening.
saying?
Absolutely.
And so he went and really was able to explain to people what was really going on. And so everybody went crazy when the second check hit after
The records are selling.
after we was selling 10 million records on Life After Death's 8 million on
Harv was
No Way Out.
he was shooting a plaque to me every 4 weeks, bro.
Yeah. The first like 7 records we put out went platinum.
What about the mega plaque? I remember
the
they had
mega
2
plaque.
different mega ones. There was a mega one, a baby mega.
Yeah.
Then there was the yo, that plaque. Yo, let me tell you something. That plaque got me a bunch of other plaques.
Yeah, without a
If
doubt.
anybody came to my crib, right, I was like, well, you. You see, I'm gonna keep it a buck. And we're gonna have the conversation. Death Row, you sent me a plaque after that. You remember that?
Yeah,
after I put
yeah.
because the Bad Boy plaque is on my album Volume 2. And when I
Death Row, I'm gonna be honest. Death Row did a bigger plaque. They made sure that plaque was double the size. They had to have the biggest record.
because the way you were doing it.
Yeah, because the way we put out our joint, and then they came with the joint with the electric chair. Like 3 people had to carry it in your office.
Yeah, it was wild. It was wild. I appreciated it.
Yeah, the stunting that was going on.
I'll keep it a buck, and I wasn't playing none of the records, but they sent it to me anyway, so it's appreciated.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Labels should get back to doing plaques. So when on the re-up, what are we talking about on the re-up? How much are we at then?
Hold on, that is true, because I ain't gonna lie. I seen a couple of new artists get plaques, and it was like one of the first times I really saw joy and accomplishment in their faces. I seen them buy Lamborghinis, I got some chains, whatever, but I seen some things online of just artists getting like a plaque, and it really like that means something to an artist.
Absolutely, there forever. There forever. So, okay, so now, Clive, you sell the record, you're selling a ton of records. At this time, what do you have? You have Total.
Yeah, Total 112.
We have 112. You have Faith, and all these artists. Craig Mack, right? So now, Mace,
L.o.x, Total.
Mace, yeah, Total. Mace was it was he had an incredible sound, like and Puff is never gonna say this, but I'm gonna say it. I heard Mace before he was with you, and I heard Biggie before he was with you. And, I do feel, Puff, that a lot of people don't give you this or mention this, because at the time, there was a lot of lyrical people running around.
Mm.
There was Lord Finesse, there was Big L,
Nas.
there was Nas, there was Biggie, and at the time, Biggie was, before he was with you, he was in that lyrical bowl.
Mm-hmm.
And I know it comes across in the movie a lot, and it shows in the movie too, where he fought some of the hooks, but the real difference between Biggie and separating him from that was him having those big hooks made you really listen to his verses, you know, because on the album you can hear sometime when the verses go very long. Like, so One More Chance was a remix, correct? It wasn't, that wasn't the original.
That wasn't the original, that was a remix.
And if I always want to describe the climate right. I remember the Biggie album coming out and people saying in the street it was dope, but it didn't have commercial success yet.
Yes.
Until the remixes came.
Yes.
Right? So that was, well, Who Shot You? Which I think got stripped onto the album later.
Yeah.
Right? And then One More Chance got stripped onto the album later.
Yeah.
Now, those songs is what made it go platinum, correct?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, Juicy was a big
Instrumental.
Yeah, it was instrumental in that, but it wasn't like we had something to follow Juicy, and it was like we was really set up. All we had to do was drop another joint, you know, and the One More Chance remix was it. So
to a lot of people's the original. To a lot of people that aren't aware.
Yeah. It's not the original. It's not the one that was originally on Ready to Die. You know, it was a remix. You know, it was just the Barge sample that I always had put to the side. That you know, I got together with Mary and Faith, and they did the chorus, and you know, and Total, and it just really worked out. And to me, the Juicy helped him to understand where his sound could go. You know, but you still had Unbelievable.
Tough.
You know what I'm saying? You know that was out there.
Now I'll tell you what was rare about that record at the time. People were sampling, but it was rare that someone would sample something that was still on the radio.
Yeah.
Like R. Kelly, that song was still on the radio at the time. So then when we heard that, it was like, they sampled it, you know. I'm gonna blow Puff up. The what?
Yeah.
I know what you did. Method Man was the biggest thing at the time. Method Man was, I want to say, is what like a different type of crown holder. The chicks, the everything. Music, the everything. And when I heard that there was a record with Biggie and Method Man, I was like, nah. If Meth's smart, he ain't gonna get on that record. And was it hard to get Meth on that record?
Not at all. He was ready for battle. He was ready, and it
now Biggie ain't spank him.
No.
But he held tight. He held strong, and that was big for Biggie to be on a record with Meth and hold his own. That was a big deal.
That was a true duet. It was a battle, but at the same time, they really went back and forth and made that a true duet. And that kind of really even gave birth to Brooklyn's Finest.
That really gave Biggie it put him on a place.
And it was important because also you had New York hip hop about to be divided, because Def Jam and Lyor was like, yo, they over there being shiny. You know what I'm saying? We need to stay hardcore. We need to do, you know what I'm saying? And so then the artists were kind of divided. You know what I'm saying? And there was,
what made you go?
There was the situation
when you went with the shiny. I'm gonna keep it a buck. When you went with the shiny suits, Puff, I'd have taken anything you gave me. If you told me to wear a plumber's outfit, I was putting it on. Like, there was nothing at that point. Yeah. Like the heat, the way it was burning.
I want to tell you what happens.
How did the shiny suit come about?
Because it's just like you see right now. When you get a certain check, you start wearing crazy shit. You really feel confident in your glitter, your shine, your fit. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like
the shiny suits was so raw and hardcore, bro. You can tell me whatever.
Yeah. I wanted to stunt the hardest.
You know what's so funny? When it was going on, no one was complaining or stuttering. Nobody. Niggas was like, yo. Niggas wouldn't even say they saw the suit. They be like, yo, they go them. There they go. Niggas didn't even say anything about the suits.
Yeah.
It wasn't until afterwards and the wave had passed and you were on the come up. Yeah. You started to say, "Oh, did you?" But was that your play on it? Was that your, like, you looked at it and say, "This is what I want to do"?
No, I'm gonna be honest. June Ambrose, she was the stylist, and you got to understand at that time between us, Buster, she was Buster's stylist, and she was Missy's stylist.
They were shiny suit too.
We were wearing costumes. Missy had on a bubble joint. you know, Buster on Put Your What My Eyes Can See had African garb on. So she was a very creative director stylist, and I just wanted to shine. Give me this Levi jean suit and that red glitter, and give me some diamonds and a New York hat, some Air Force Ones. I'm ready to go. I'm ready, you know, I'm ready to just have fun. I want this record to sound like it is. That's how More Money, More Problems sounded. More Money, Problems didn't sound like we had on fatigues, a suit, or we was fresh, or we was trying to be cool or whatever. More Problems was like we in the wind tunnel and we just having fun.
It gave Jermaine his feel. It gave Jay-Z his feel. You know, it gave Nas a feel too, because you know when the Hate Me Now came and he was doing the Furs, which you know, of course his hardcore fans didn't love, but I did like the growth. You know, seeing Nas grow at the time. Hate Me Now. Originally, Foxy Brown's brother was on that song. Cause I heard a version.
Yeah.
What was Foxy's brother's name?
Gavin.
So I heard that song with Gavin on the hook, and Nas, and then from what I understand, because he was sounding so much like you, they reached out to you to get you on the song. Is that correct?
Yeah. And it had its blessing. It wasn't like that, you know what I'm saying? It was that.
It was dope.
Yeah, it was that, you know, we would all be like in a 3-block radius in the studios between the Hit Factory, between Sony, between Daddy's house. That's all like a, you know what I'm saying? That was all like a 3-block radius. So just to get somebody on the phone, you know, so they just called me up and was like, come on over, and we did that.
You had mentioned earlier, you said Faith and Mary. And I had a conversation with Mary. She came and did, you know, we do like what you're doing now, which is I got a story to tell. We have a story to tell. And then Mary had shared with me that she said, you know, she said everything was always great, and she had wished that when you had went to Bad Boy that she could come. That you know, that's where she wanted to go. And she said that for a second she did have a little bit of a feel of being uncomfortable. Yeah. Because Faith. Yeah. She felt like. Yeah.
Like, no.
We Faith was there, and she felt like, you know, because she couldn't come, that Faith became your project, and she wished it could have been her. Yeah. At the time, did you know how Mary felt, like with the Faith situation?
Yeah. I mean, Mary probably didn't say the whole thing because she's so sweet, but you know, we definitely broke up. We went our separate ways.
Over it.
Yeah.
Okay, that she didn't say that part.
Yeah. We went our separate ways over it. You know what I'm saying? And she was just feeling like.
But now, is this Faith's album's already out at the time, or you were working on Faith's project?
It was coming, and I was working on her joint, and she was hearing the joints, and I wasn't. You know, I wasn't thinking like I wasn't. I didn't have my diva masters. You know what I'm saying? My R&B.
It's like men. You just keep it popping.
Man, I mean, I guess in the back of my head, but I was hoping it wasn't gonna go down that way. So it's almost like men and they not.
So
really
were you playing
that.
some of Faith's songs for Mary?
I mean, they was coming out the other room. You know what I'm saying? and they was.
What was that first one? It was cooking, bro.
The Way You Used to Love Me.
Listen.
And Mary wasn't no joke. Hold on.
Front on Bad Boy and Did If You Want My
Mary was like, I'm not fucking with you, B. Figure out what you want to do. You know what I'm saying?
Because you're making it too hot over there.
Yeah, she just like what's going on? It's like, because we brother and sisters, so that's the way we talking to each other. You know what I'm saying?
I want to explain Bad Boy at this time. This is 94, 95. R&B records never played in a rap club. Ever. I want you to understand that Faith Evans record was one of the first, if not like in a long time, where a R&B record played prime time in a rap club.
It was Mary J. Blige, Real Love remix, and then that came.
Yes, Mary J. Blige, Real Love, which was Red Zone time.
Yeah, and then Total came, Can't You See?
Total, sorry. Yeah. My order's wrong.
Yeah.
My order's wrong. Yo, that was, but,
when that joint hit.
Here's the thing, though. Biggie on that front was
Slow down, son. You're killing them.
was something. I didn't care what happened after that. I'll take it. Harv brought me that. Harv, I remember when he brought me that record. And you know what? I remember whoever brought me a record wouldn't tell me who the artist was till I was there. It'd be like, yo, we got something for you. Then I get it. And then I say, who is it? He says, yo, so. I'd be like, who's that? You know, it's tough. Just, you know. And it was a amazing moment. So you and Mary discussed it and put it aside. That's how y'all got back together and worked.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it took us time. You know what I'm saying?
Years?
She expressed, no, not years.
Months.
Like 2 years.
Okay.
But you know, but it wasn't like, I mean, people were busy. People were running around touring and things like that. But it was definitely, if you have a long relationship with anybody, anybody you can name, you know, we done had our ups and our downs. That's just in any long-term relationships. You know,
the Mary records that you were doing were so.
Yeah. What's the 411? My Life? All that's like some of my
I remember
best
you put
work,
you put LL. No, I'm gonna tell you what. I'm gonna tell you.
The craziest thing I did with Mary was the remix, the 2 vinyl remix thing.
Oh, I was ahead of you, bro. That's where I was at.
Okay.
Smith and Wesson.
Smith and Wesson.
But in doing that, at the time, once again showed how you were on the pulse. Because you had Smith and Wesson when nobody was putting them on nothing.
These are the acts that nobody's really rocking with.
But they were scorching in the street.
Scorching in the streets.
And you had LL on with the I Love You. It was like a 4-song like double vinyl, which was you know, you always catered to the DJs, you know, and to the clubs and to everything else, and which was amazing.
I want to say that's the biggest thing that I miss is that the DJs having freedom to actually create an experience. You know what I'm saying? When it came time for like the playlist and all that, a lot of that, and the computers got involved. A lot of things changed. One of the things you left out was when you was at the Red Zone, and this is an inspiring story for anybody starting out DJing. You know, so you know, there's the big room and there's the little room. The little room is called the VIP. You know what I'm saying?
I played that for weeks.
Yeah. So he's playing the little room, but every week I noticed that the little room was getting more and more packed, and that in the little room he was taking way more chances. He didn't have a set program set. Like everybody now has a set as program. It was the feeling. So if you ever look at Flex DJ, he's looking at the room. He's studying the room. His eyes is like, you know, is and it's like those days is gone. It's like, you know, people put the playlist together.
The little room was very cool.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. And it was just, you had to come downstairs because, you know, somebody had an off night, and you know, I didn't play that for more than 15, 20 minutes because I didn't want to lose the crowd.
Oh, wait a minute.
I said, yo,
he's giving a gem. We're going to keep it a buck.
Okay.
We're going to keep it a buck. Man, I forgot that.
Yeah.
I feel like Lord Finesse.
Yeah.
Was Lord Finesse.
Lord Finesse is the DJ.
Lord Finesse.
Shout out to Lord Finesse.
Lord Finesse. Shout out to Lord Finesse.
And he was an incredible DJ.
He was an incredible DJ.
This night he was a little grumpy and tired. If y'all know Lord Finesse, he gets grumpy and tired sometimes.
Lord Finesse.
I ain't seen you in a long time. Finesse,
Love
but you
Lord
know you
Finesse.
get grumpy and tired sometimes.
And I think Lord Finesse was playing in the room. But in Lord Finesse's defense, I noticed that the room was a little bit more money orientated, a little bit more swag, a little bit more fur coats than usual that night.
That's when the big boys was coming.
Yeah, so I remember in reading the room, so even I didn't do my normal set. I said, you know what? I think this is a little more groovy. I'll keep it a buck. There was a lot of hustlers in there that night, and I think Lord Finesse was having that issue because the room was a little different than what even I was used to. And I was playing upstairs, and Puff said, I'm gonna need you. He said, yo, get your shit, and you gonna go downstairs. That's when you got me the mo. That's when you got me the liquor.
Yeah.
And then
after you like saved the night.
And that liquor though, for him to give me that liquor, New York, it put such a battery in my back. Like I was like, but I never want to take credit from where credit's due. And I saw DJ Clark Kent in there one night in New York.
Yeah.
And he played after a DJ that played everything.
Yeah.
And it was packed. Red Zone used to have a 12 o'clock crowd rush and a 2 a.m. crowd rush. And I'm watching Clark, and I want to describe Clark Kent to you. He always had on the freshest leather jacket and the freshest glasses and the freshest New Era. And his kicks were always amazing. I'm watching him because I want to see his body language, and Clark ain't even nervous. This guy Triple C's throwing on everything. Clark Kent, I stole this from Clark Kent. He got on, he played a half hour of reggae in there. And I was like, why the fuck is he doing that? And I'm watching people still come in. I'm watching the hustlers get more liquor from the bar. And after that, Clark Kent goes into, I remember the set like it was yesterday. He goes into the Bridge, South Bronx, Cutmaster DC, Brooklyn's in the house. Then he goes into Eric B for President and turn that place upside fucking down. There was, in the middle of the room, there was a circle when dancing was as important. And they were going like this. Just like 40 people like, and he's just in his hat and he's looking around. And he's like, I'm like, yo, he's murdering this room. Something off. Clark Kent, I take my hat off to you, bro. I'm sorry I bit your routine. I did, but it was an amazing moment. And Lord Finesse, we love you too. And Puff, I appreciate, I'm keeping a buck, bro. If I didn't, I want to describe my career when Puff gave me a chance in that Red Zone. I just got fired from BLS. I was in a place, you know, there's nothing people hate more than a washed up radio DJ. There's nothing that attracts more fucking I hate you than my nigga. So I'm coming in the room, a nigga used to be on the radio. You know, that opportunity was it was a big deal to me, Puff. But I'll tell you something. I watched you use that in everything because you didn't just give me opportunity. You gave Jesse West opportunity. You gave I remember you. I don't know if you remember. You gave Fat Doug, Tony Dofat. Like you gave a lot of people. Super Cat. You gave a lot of people who had talent, but didn't know people to do it. And I put myself in that category. Like I didn't know people. So it was a great feeling to be, and it carried over into, like I said, Craig Mack being someone who you could have easily said, yo, he kind of been out already, you know, fuck it, you know, to take that chance. And I'm gonna tell you something else. Even Easy Mo B producing that record, you know, and Mo B, I love you, but his group, Rapping is Fundamental, was no longer successful. They were ahead of their time and missed the mark. So you had a song from Craig Mack produced by Easy Mo B. The underground niggas was loving it. Yeah. They was like, this is, and then it turned out.
Shout out to Mo B. He was probably one of the greatest producers I ever worked with. Like, you know what I'm saying? As far as like, he really gave birth to that bad boy sound. You know what I'm saying? When did Bad Boy ever, if at all, become not fun? When did it become? Because I remember the fun and that. Yeah, March 9th. So when Biggie passed is when it changed for you. Before Biggie passed, were you contemplating? Would there been a solo album? Regardless, were you thinking about making an album while Biggie was alive? It was already on the schedule. It was called Hell Up in Harlem, but a lot of records were already done. If you remember, when Biggie was alive, he was in the Can't Nobody Hold Me Down, and also on Victory, and you know the Benjamins had just.
So dropped. Benjamins was gonna be on your.
I was as an artist on the label. I was gone. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, you were gonna happen.
Yeah, Biggie was my manager. You know what I'm saying? Biggie was my manager. This is real talk.
One of y'all was gonna get
and it's like Can't Nobody Hold Me Down and Benjamins. That was the A/B side. Those joints was banging every single day. Big didn't even have a joint out. Big didn't have a joint out when I put out Can't Nobody Hold Me Down and the Benjamins.
Oh, and Big wasn't on the Benjamins yet.
He was working on he was working. He was working on Life After Death. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. That's right. I remember where you broke Benjamins. It wasn't How Can I Be Down? It was like a Gavin convention, or it was something. Biggie wasn't on the verse. The vinyl was nasty, and it was low. Was it Jack the Rapper? It was one of those. And I remember Yo Guy gave him out to everybody before we went to the and by the time we was at that fucking convention, the instrumental, niggas would throw that shit to the top for like 30 minutes before that would come in. You know that we had never seen a record ring that hard. Maybe Eric B for president.
Man, it's still the most played record in hip hop. If you think about it, no matter where you at, country, wherever you at, well, you know, one of the definite go-tos that they gotta touch at that night is the Benjamins.
That rock version was pumping too.
Yeah, so you know, that was a blessing. And shout out to the l.o.x. And it was just it really kind of like that's one of the records that really exemplify Bad Boy. Like you hear it, the sound, the feeling it gives you, the way it makes you feel. That's that Bad Boy feeling.
So, of course, March 9th happened and Biggie passes. Like, you know, I'll be honest, Puff, I always wanted to apologize for you something. I'm gonna take my time out and apologize to you now.
Okay. I'm gonna take a little sip of this Deleon, y'all.
You know,
try this Deleon. Make sure
I know for me, and I don't know if there was other people, but I could speak for myself and say I definitely didn't give you a moment to breathe because we were so used to you being machine Puff. You know, so even though you was going through something in your life, I still took it different as if I was going, because I'm like, well, he's 50 times stronger than me, so I can bug him and call him, or you know, and I know I was doing that. Yeah. I absolutely know I was like on you. Were a lot of people on you like that after? Yeah, because you passed and kind of like, because I felt you didn't get a moment to breathe.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really take that moment, you know, because I was in like such a troubled state and place, you know, that making the Missing You record, that was my therapy. And then, to be honest, I had made something that had went and then took me on a whirlwind, and I was able to kind of suppress, you know, like the grief and try to turn it around into really preserving his legacy. And so that gave me the momentum. But then, to be honest, like, the party was over. There was parties. There's a lot of fake smiling in the party. There's a lot of, just pushing through. And don't get me wrong, there was a lot of good times, you know what I'm saying? But, then when you, wake up in the morning, or you by yourself, or you, whatever it is, you like, damn, something, this, it don't feel the same without him being here,
So you didn't really come down until maybe, because I remember you doing your touring. I remember you went back to the Garden, not back, but I know people now. It's funny. Sometimes I look at people and they have the Barclays and they have the Garden and they have the Jersey. But when you went to that Garden, correct me if I'm wrong, the last hip hop artist before that felt like Beastie Boys or Public Enemy before that, like that, which would had to be maybe 7-8 years prior.
Yeah, they had a hip hop fundraiser there. I think that Big and all of us touched. I forgot it was for something, and they had Bobby Brown.
Okay.
When Bobby Brown he brought Tupac and Biggie out. So it's like people were touching the Garden stage, but they wouldn't really allow hip hop, acts in.
What did that mean for you? I remember you excited, but
yeah. I mean, what it meant was like, that was one of my secret dreams when I went to watch Run DMC there for the Fresh Fest. I remember sitting and Run told everybody to throw up their sneaker, and you see, 25, 30,000 people putting up their sneaker, because it was definitely an extra 10,000 on top of whatever seats there was when the Fresh Fest came by. And it was just like, I was like, I don't know what that is, but I want to do that. I want to entertain people like that. And I found my niche that, Big put me onto was P.T. Barnum. You know what I'm saying? You're almost like the ringmaster. You know what I'm saying? Like but it feels different when you're orchestrating and bringing them out and kind of narrating the story. And so that, that basically was a dream that I had. So a secret dream that I had, and it came. I got the opportunity and it came true.
You did a couple nights.
Yeah. So to be in the Garden, I'm looking at the seat that I was at when I first had the dream, and I'm like, I'm suspended in the air.
It's 97. What year are we in?
Yeah, they're like beating. This is when the chairs and the stomping is in the arena, and they like, you know, bad boy, or they just like, you know,
You
chanting,
know-
like it was just,
you know, the whole
it was surreal.
industry
Yeah,
that like
yeah.
you came to the radio the day before that week.
Mhm.
When the whole industry was looking and watching, and you know something, I'll tell you something, and they were rooting
Yeah.
because they knew if you brought that in there right,
Mm.
that was opening that door that's been closed for, I mean, for years that door was closed.
I ain't gonna lie. Even the only reason why I'm here is because of really the support of the industry. You know what I'm saying? We compete with each other a lot, but we like a tight knit group. You know what I'm saying? And you know, a lot of people really kind of, you know, came. They was watching to see, you know, what was going to happen in the you know, the gladiator arena.
Kid Capri was on that tour too. I remember he was tearing it down in that bitch.
Without a doubt. Shout out to Kid Capri. You know, is he going to survive? But it's like, you know, the industry time after time, like, you know, had my back, and especially like, you know, New York City. So that helps you get up off the floor. You know what I'm saying? And you know, it really helped. And then we went into another phase and another era of Bad Boy. But just like how they say, when you see the movie, a lot of this is tied into the movie. You know what I'm saying? These really ain't no old head stories. If you're out there listening,
Giving it official,
and you know, and listening, it's just trying to give y'all a taste, because I don't really sleep in the trophy room. You know what I'm saying? what I did, that's what I did, and what I'm doing right now, and I'm gonna put it on them, just like the way I've been putting it on them. You know what I'm saying? And
I like in the movie
but I want to
the
be
energy you put out, because I remember you unless I don't see it anymore, your energy's different.
Yeah.
Like you were a different. You're aggressive.
Yeah.
But I feel like a little quieter aggressive now.
Yeah,
I remember in the 90s you were a little bit more.
Yeah.
You were raw.
Yeah. It was real raw, real hip hop, real obnoxious, real young, real underdeveloped. We all like a work in progress. You know what I'm saying? And you know, and it wasn't bad, you know what I'm saying? It was real New York. It was like the definition of if a New York cat really got some power and some money and really knew what to do with it. So you can have some money, you may not know how to spend it. Boys and girls, see, I know how to spend this money. I know what yacht to get, what plane to get. I know what school to send the kids to. I know what donation to give. I know what school to open in Harlem. I know how to diversify. Like, you gotta understand, like, it was made for me.
Speaking of
ball, listen to me, Flex.
Yes.
The ball was made for me.
Made for you to have it.
And I stepped right in it.
You never gave it back. The ball. You said the ball, right? So you just mentioned school. What school? What elementary school did you go to?
Never gave it back.
You never gave it back. What elementary school did you go to?
I went to like Montessori school.
Where's that?
That was up in Mount Vernon.
Okay, and then junior high, where'd you go?
School called Our Lady of Victory.
I know exactly.
Yeah. I was a quiet kid. All I used to do is walk around and think
you went
about
to
my dreams.
You went to St. Michael's. Was it
St. Charles? At elementary school, I went to St. Charles Borromeo, St. Charles here in Harlem.
Okay.
And then I went to Mount St. Michael's Academy
for
in
high
Bronx,
school.
For high school, yeah.
Which was an all-boys school at the time.
Yeah, and it made me a beast.
I lived 2 blocks from there.
Yeah.
On Derima Avenue.
No girls.
You were focused.
That's the first time I met Jennifer.
Okay.
She went to Ursula.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So,
wow.
like, if you go to all boys school at 3 o'clock, you try to run to the nearest all girls school.
Did you? So, like, Puff, at this time, I mean, where are some of the places that you went? I mean, did you do Latin Quarter?
Yeah.
You did Union Square?
Yeah, I did. So
you used to listen to Red Alert at these places?
Yeah, man. I mean, no, I would go and meet, Red Alert, at Union Square. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was trying to carry Red Alert's crates, Chuck Chill Out, whatever I could do to get in the game. I was there from the beginning.
The door.
I don't know if the Decepticons would have got a record and they told me to go steal some polo off somebody, I may have did that. You know what I'm saying? I was down for whatever to get in the game. If you look at, remember that Tribe Called Quest T-shirt or the album cover with all the faces on there?
You're on it.
I'm on there. I don't even have a record. I don't even have a job.
Funny you brought that up. I looked at that album cover the other day. And I put it in perspective. But what it was is Puff was so burning hot in the streets. It was wild.
It ain't
like,
make no sense. Like we're not from the same neighborhood. It was just I was always in the right place. Hey, y'all, they was having a photo shoot for the album. Somehow I was there.
You ushered them in though. You know, in first you personally, because you were into Tribe.
Yeah.
You know, the music was great and Tribe was making great music, but they could have easily gotten pushed to the artists of the 90s that didn't transition into the new era. But like even at the club, you had them at the club a lot. You had Q-Tip and you had them DJing.
But I'm gonna tell you who that was. That definitely was Chris Lighty. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I mean, Chris knew those moves to make. You know what I'm saying? Like I met Chris was when it was a brawl in MK's. You understand?
MK's.
Yeah, MK's, yeah. So,
I'm gonna tell you that, bro.
Yeah.
It was a Queen Latifah party.
It was Queen
Latifah's party. And I'm gonna keep it a buck. And Chuck Chill Out was giving a lot of weird energy at the door. And it might have been Capri playing. I remember that party.
Yeah.
It might have been Jessica's. It was Jessica's party. Yeah, I remember that party was a big deal. I remember, and it was a little. So that's where Chris was. Is that the first time you and him met?
That's the first time me and him really got together.
Okay.
Because we was fighting shoulder to shoulder. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Oh my goodness! Listen, this is going to be the first time we got a story to tell. This is going to be part 1.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to stop here, right?
Yeah,
so
let's do that.
just so you remember, we're stopping in 90. Where we stopping? No, we got to tour. We're like 96. We're like 96, right. 97, right, 96.
Cool. Yeah. After Big's passing, yeah, we are there.
We're there. So when you come back again,
yeah, because it gets deep. It gets deep.
I don't even want to. I can't even mess that right there.
Yeah. But check it out. If y'all go see the movie, you know what I'm saying, go watch it. But check this out. Also, everybody that's at home saying, but I don't have Apple Music. I don't want to feel like paying for it. I got the hustle for y'all. The first 3 months free. Okay, if you don't like it, then you don't gotta renew it. I'm not telling you not to do that. I think you're gonna like it and renew it. But right now, you need to see the movie. So go type in your information. They got your information anyway, all right? And just be able to see the movie for free. It's there to inspire you. You know what I'm saying? That's really what it's about. And you know, it's important for me to come up here and at the same time, you know, reminisce and all that. But you know, I'm talking about right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm living in real time, and I don't see any stories with any happy endings about us. I don't see any stories at the end of the day. We still successful. We still out there. No disrespect to all of the great movies that they give Oscars to, but they not giving us nothing, you know, and not really behind anything that we look like men and we look like women. Absolutely. And we look like we can stand on our own 2 feet and we could get ours if we work hard. And that's what it's about. So to all the hustlers, to the lovers out there, everybody that at the end of the day is trying to work and be somebody or even need some inspiration, because a lot of people are like, I don't know what I want to do with my life. You know what I'm saying? Watch the movie and hopefully it inspires you.
It's a great movie.
Yeah.
And it, you know, very good, the inside is nice to see. And I'm going to tell you something, Puff. Because you know what? Like how you said you and Mary have had up and downs. And you know what? I am glad that I've had a relationship with you long enough to even have some up and downs with you, my brother. And it's nice. Right. And it's nice to see you in 2017. Right. You know, you've inspired many of us from afar. Almost every movement that's come out of this city can be some way traced back to a Bad Boy, a Def Jam, and all the things that came through. And so, you know, you are appreciated. Thank you for everything.
Thank you very much. And I'm humbled and I'm blessed and I'm appreciated that, you know, New York has supported me so long in Hot 97. And just thank you to all the fans and all the prayer warriors that have prayed for me through my ups and downs, and just everybody in New York that's just always, you know, been there for support, you know. And thank y'all very much.
So part 2 will come eventually when I get Puff up here again.
Can't Stop, Won't Stop. Apple Music right now, July 7th on iTunes. Let's get it. I need the mics to come back on. Come on, because I need, this is a glory. Ladies and gentlemen, y'all may know me for many things, but I am the guy that got LL to take off his hat. That's how persuasive I am.